Okay, this is my first installment of a video log that a friend of mine encouraged me to instigate, if you will. So here I am starting something. I'm going to do my best to look at the camera and not at my own reflection in the phone. I'm not that handsome. I want to talk tonight in my bedtime reflection about getting to know you, getting to know yourself. There's lots of good ways to do that. There's lots of terrible ways to do it too. I've lived through lots of both. I have inflicted many horrible things upon myself, upon my person, and I have learned some very, very good lessons, both the hard way and the easy way, about who I am. One of my favorite ways to learn about myself is those goofy 20 questions things that we get on Facebook. And I know all of you are going to say, oh my gosh, those are trolls, and those are ways for Facebook to get your personal information, learn more about you, and send you ads and blah blah blah. But social media is what social media is, okay? But here's what I love about those things. Those 20 questions, they're usually pretty inane questions. There's not a whole lot of meaning to any of them until you add two little words at the end of each one. And why? Now, there's all sorts of innocuous questions. There's all sorts of almost pointless stuff that they ask, right? Would you rather have green beans or gravy? Stuff like that. But I love the fact that you can take almost any of those questions and you can add and why to the end of it, and you can learn about yourself. Now, you can learn about your friends and your loved ones and whoever else too. I love people, and anybody who's ever known me for any length of time at all will know that. And even people who have known me for a very short time figure it out pretty quick. I love people. I love people. And I love getting to know people. I love sharing myself with people. I love being able to allow people to get to know me, because I think I'm pretty cool in some respects. I think I'm pretty nerdy in other respects. I think I run the gamut from gargantuan to gross to great. But one of the great things about those 20 questions is that if you answer them with and why, and then you post them for everybody else to answer with and why, you might not get a lot of responses, but the ones you get are going to mean something. Now, I've made some new friends recently. I've reconnected with some old friends recently, and there's a bunch of people that are in my life right now that I know not so much about. I know some because I've talked with them and I've connected with them, and I've gotten to give them some insight into me, and I've gotten some insight into them. But I love those 20 questions things, and I think I'm going to come up with one in the not too distant future, but it's all going to be and why. I'm not going to ask you for personal details. I'm not going to ask you for the names of pets and the names of your favorite cousin and the things like this. I'm going to ask you for generalizations, but I'm going to ask you and why. And there's a reason, because and why takes a generic question and it turns it into a revelation about what goes on inside of you. And that sort of reveal doesn't necessarily give advertisers and Facebook and whoever else any information that they need to know, but for the people that you care about, for the people that you love, for the people that you're developing relationships with, It means everything because it allows connection with them in a way that social media provides uniquely, because we're in a time and in a place where much of our communication is electronic. We don't get to be face to face with a lot of people right now. And that's a sad thing, because even more than being a people person, I'm a hugger. And I don't get to hug a lot of people these days. One of my favorite things to do, because you can't give a hug without getting one back. I say a lot. Sorry about that. I inhale loudly. I'm an asthmatic. I have allergies. I have a stuffy nose. Live with it. If you love me, great. If you don't, shut me off and don't watch. But the fact is, I love those 20 questions, because if you take it just the tiniest little extra bit in depth, you not only learn things about the people that you love, but you learn things about yourself too. I'll give you an example. One of the questions that I think is integral, is all important to the 20 questions is, what's your favorite ice cream? Everybody's got their own unique answer. But when you add and why, you make people think about what it is that's important to them. Okay? My example, right now at this point in my life, my favorite ice cream is Rocky Road. Rocky Road, I like Rocky Road because it's interesting. Chocolate ice cream, marshmallow, nuts, crunchiness. And if you got the real high quality stuff, there's little chocolate covered bits of something or other in there all the time. So, different textures, different flavors. Maybe a little salty, maybe a little sweet, maybe a little crunchy, maybe a little smooth. It's interesting. When I was a kid, I was all about vanilla. Anything that was vanilla based made me happy boy. Because I liked simple. If you ever read my blog, biggaroundtheinside.wordpress.com, org, I can't remember. It's WordPress. It's Bigger on the Inside blog. But I talk about my need to separate foods, and how that was a deep psychological issue with me. And I like simple flavors. I like one at a time. I grew up that way. But as I've gotten older, I've discovered the value in interesting, in combinations, in the unusual. And that's translated from ice cream and food to people. I've made some new friends recently. Friends that I didn't expect to make, and probably wouldn't have ever expected to make, except for the fact that I love people and I love connecting with people, and I've connected with some people that wanted to connect back with me. And those connections have turned into interestingness. What's interesting about this person to me? What's interesting to me? What's interesting in me to this person? And it's an exploration, and it's learning how to connect with these other people. And yes, I'm Irish, so my hands are going to move. I can't hold still. If I hold my hands still, I won't be able to talk. I'll live with it. So, I've made some deeper connections with some other people who are already important to me. And just simple interactions that provide more interesting insight, hopefully about me for them, but definitely about them for me. And people that I've known for a long time, people that I've made music with, people that I've done theater with, people that I've been through the college experience with, people that I have been just friends with forever. And as I learn more about those individuals, whether they're musicians, thespians, average Joes and Janes, role-playing gamers, tabletop gamers, my friends and loved ones run the gamut. And the more I learn about them, the more I love about them. And I hope to communicate to them more to learn about and more to love about me. But we're all unique. And we all have our goods and our bads, our highs and our lows. But that question, that and why, when you add that and why to any question that you present to someone that you care about, you're going to get a little bit deeper meaning to why they're important to you, to what they mean to you. Why do I love you? What are the reasons that I chose to be your friend in the first place? And why? What drew us together? What made things connect? It's definitely a cool thing to think about. New friends, old friends, friends that you have stuff in common with, friends that you wonder why you ever became friends, because it doesn't seem like you have anything in common, but somehow or another you connect. And that's always cool. So, my loved ones, never stop asking, and why? You'll learn a lot about yourself, and you'll learn a lot about the people that you love too. I love all of you. I hope you have a great night.